Greetings, my friend. Welcome to another episode here, Red Delta Project YouTube channel, helping the whole world get stronger with the power of calisthenics training. I'm Matt Schifferly, and today we're talking about the third leg in the grind style calisthenics discipline for building muscle and strength, weighted calisthenics. So weighted or loaded calisthenics is often associated with wearing weight vests, dip belts, even holding onto extra weight as a means of adjusting the load upon the body, therefore adjusting the weight itself of your body in order to adjust the resistance of the exercises you're doing. Because like all calisthenics training, we are fundamentally still weightlifting. You are still the primary weight, only now you're just adjusting how much you weigh. However, weighted calisthenics can also include things that take weight off the body, like weight assistance machines, bands, or even just having a partner hold your legs to decrease the weight and therefore the resistance of classic calisthenics exercises. So if weighted calisthenics is still fundamentally weightlifting, it's still fundamentally doing the same thing as progressive or suspension calisthenics, the question you may be asking yourself, why even bother? Because one of the disadvantages of weighted calisthenics is that it's much more resource intensive. You've got more equipment, it's not quite as portable, it's a little bit more finicky to adjust said equipment, it can be placing more load physically on your body. Why do this when you can do progressive techniques or utilize more resistance or exercise variations with suspension calisthenics? And the answer to that lies in both the biggest advantage as well as disadvantage of progressive calisthenics. Because as I mentioned in video number 1 in this series, when we want to add resistance with progressive calisthenics, we have to upgrade to a more advanced technique, which has a host of benefits. You need more stability, mobility, coordination, and of course strength in order to utilize those advanced techniques. But the technical nature of progressive calisthenics is also its greatest weakness, because if you want more resistance against a muscle group, you need better mobility and stability and control, coordination, all the skills in order to access that resistance. But if you don't have those qualities, then you can potentially really struggle to get more resistance against your muscles and therefore stay in a rut when it comes to your potential to build muscle and strength. So weighted calisthenics can be a way to transcend those technical limitations or roadblocks, if you will. You can add a lot more resistance to a working muscle group while still maintaining technically simple, basic exercise techniques that don't require as much skill, yet you can still push your muscular work capacity for building muscle, strength, and endurance. So it's not that one is inherently better or worse, but including both in your calisthenics or even exercising toolbox gives you the ability to overcome the limitations of each discipline. In progressive calisthenics, very simple, independent, efficient, doesn't really require much as far as equipment goes, and it can help you develop a lot of other those skill qualities, but it has the limitation of you need those skills in order to get stronger. But weighted calisthenics has the disadvantage of not being quite as efficient or independent, but the techniques can be much more technically simple, so utilizing both in your toolbox allows you to get all of the potential benefits and none of the downsides. Which one should you be using? Well, it depends on whatever's going to help you achieve better personal alignment. Maybe you find that weighted calisthenics is better for training your legs, but progressive calisthenics is better for your upper body. Or you may go through a phase where things like progressive lower body calisthenics is really helping to overcome a lot of the limitations and weaknesses in your lower body, like lack of hip stability and mobility, but you really enjoy the idea of weighted pull-ups and dips. It's really not so much a case of which one is better, but which one is better for you, and then switching back and forth on a case-by-case basis to help you get the best possible workouts. Just be mindful that there is an inherent risk that comes with adding weight to calisthenics. It can be a little harder on the joints and the body, but most importantly, don't make the weight the goal. Remember, when we're strength training, we want to make the tension we're putting in the muscles the actual objective we're after. If we get too fixated on how much we're lifting, then it's always tempting to utilize easier techniques and think, oh yeah, well, I've got all this extra weight, that means I must be getting stronger. When we're taking a step forward with our load, but we're taking maybe several steps backward with a regress technique, which is also just as much, if not more influential to how well your muscles are performing. So for that reason, always look at the weight as not the objective, but instead almost like something that's there to challenge you. If you're doing regular push-ups with your hands close together, try doing that as well. Use a progressive technique and try not to have your actual technique falter in any way. Don't have anything sagging, shoulders hunching up. In other words, don't regress your technique for the sake of adding extra weight. So if you want to learn more about this, again, check out my book, Progressive and Weighted Calisthenics, as well as the Progressive and Weighted Calisthenics playlist. Links to all this is down below, as well as links to the other 2 videos in the Grind Style Calisthenics Introduction series, which is Progressive Calisthenics and Suspension Calisthenics, things that you need to know in order to get the most out of those disciplines. Thank you very much again for watching. Best of luck with your training. Be fit and live free.